Insta360 Go3. Is it worth it? Today I'll look at the pros and cons to help you decide. The Go3 is a tiny action camera weighing only 35 grams. It can film ultra-wide POV in up to 2.7K, and it has flow state stabilization with 360-degree horizon lock. It's waterproof up to 16 feet, it has voice control, and it has AI editing in the Insta360 app. When it comes to video quality, the max resolution is 2.7K, which I think is fine, but if you're filming in free frame mode, the max you can get is 1440p. The battery life is pretty good. When using it with the Actionpod, you can have a battery life of about 170 minutes. If you're using the Insta360 Go3 camera by itself, you're going to have a battery life of around 45 minutes. As soon as you pop it back into the Actionpod, it will start charging it. So you can use it throughout the day, which is really cool and really handy. The free frame mode is probably one of the best modes for the Insta360 Go3. This means that you can edit the frame later on, you can change the aspect ratio. You can film in 1440p, but then later on you can change it from 16:9 to 9:16, or you can keep it as 1:1. This is really good for things like TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts, and that's probably one of the greatest things about the Go3. If you're using the Go3 and it's out of the Actionpod, if you press it once, that'll film in normal video mode, and that will film in 2.7K. If you double click it twice quickly, that will put it into free frame mode, which is really handy. The Go3 out of the Actionpod is waterproof up to 16 feet. Put it back in the Actionpod itself is not waterproof, so don't be taking that underwater or anything like that. There are two microphones on the Go3. There's one on the front, and then there's one on the top here. So I've used it when it's been clipped onto my chest, just like this, and you can still get a really clear sound. This is what the audio sounds like when you're using the Go3 out of the Actionpod. I think it probably sounds alright. Oh, that's not so quiet, however. You get so much gear in the box when you buy the Go3. You get the Go3 with the Actionpod, you get a magnetic pendant with a wedge to change the angles and get different perspectives. This is quite cool. You get the easy clip, which you can mount onto a hat, or you can mount it onto your bag, onto the shoulder strap. You get the pivot stand, which you can put on a tripod, or you can put onto the monkey tail mount. The monkey tail mount is extra, but it's only £20, and it probably is worth investing in it for those cool wraparound shots that you can do with it. You can use the monkey tail mount and the Go3 camera and put it on the end of it, but it is a bit heavy. It's probably not that well supported, so I would recommend using a tripod instead. One of the best additions to this little camera is this little flip out screen, which turns on. You just press the button there and then it turns on. This means that you can use it like a kind of traditional action camera, which is a really cool feature. I think you can easily take the camera out of the Actionpod by pressing this button on the side here, and you just pull it out, and then there you go, off you go. You can go with that. But if you want to put it back in, you just clip it in like that. It's really easy to do. One of the things I really like about the Go3 is the magnetic mounting system. They've definitely taken that from DJI, and it is great. The magnets are so strong on the Go3. You can attach it to a lot of different things, and the fact that the mounting system is just like this as well. You can attach it. You can attach the Go3 with the whole Actionpod on, or you can take it out, attach the Go3 like this. Just like that. There's a useful little symbol on here that shows you which way the camera points. If you follow that, you'll never get confused. Let's move on to the cons then. The Go3 does have some cons. You can add an external microphone to the Go3. It probably doesn't sound as good as the microphone I'm using at the minute, which is the Rode Video Mic Go 2, but when you're out and about and vlogging, you probably don't want to be adding an external microphone. One of the things with the Go3 is you can't add any external storage. You have to buy one of the models already built, so you've got the 32GB, the 64GB, or the 120GB model, all at different price points. I've got the 64GB model because I thought that would be fine for me for, you know, doing kind of like a weekend of action, but maybe for a longer trip you might need a bigger model. One of the gripes I have is you have to edit footage in the Insta360 Go app. The app is quite good, but it would be nice to kind of connect it to your computer. What I tend to do is edit the footage there, add it to iCloud, and then take it from iCloud and then put it onto my computer that way. Another con is the battery. You can't change the battery. You have to charge the Actionpod as a whole. There's no way to replace the battery. A good thing is that if you take the camera out, you can use it for 45 minutes and then 170 minutes total, and you can charge the Go3 camera in the Actionpod, but you can't change the batteries like a GoPro or a DJI action camera. In terms of video resolution and footage, there is no 4K. I don't think this matters that much because it's designed to be put in all sorts of weird and random places, and I think that's the really cool thing about this camera. So for me it doesn't matter that much, but I know some people would want it to be in 4K, and maybe we'll see that in the future on the Go4 if they do a Go4. Overall, I'd say this is probably one of the action cameras I've had the most fun with, thinking where can I put it, what can I do with it, because it's so small, you can put it in so many different and strange places.